Judge, in this case, in this particular case, Judge,
not in this county.
Welcome back to Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. I am Professor Ross, and we have a pretty good one today. This is displaying a gun will probably get you arrested, especially at the Costco. I have this video queued up and ready to go, and also, as you heard, we have a soundboard now, so we have a few sounds, some classics.
Answers. I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
All right, and we also have my favorite from yours truly. The street is not the place to argue your case. So as we build a larger library of lectures, there'll be more sounds that come into play, and we should have some fun with this. All right, let's jump right in. Let's see, we have our search available and ready, and we also have the video queued up. So let's start with the video and let's see what we have going on here. All right. This is out of Washington, the state of Washington. And so we know exactly where the laws are going to be from that we're looking at today. This is from the state of Washington. All right, let's jump right in. I'll have all the information available below in the description, and the credit to the team that brought this video forward.
On July 23, 2023, police were dispatched to a Costco for a potential shoplifter who threatened employees with a gun in Federal Way, Washington. According to the store's surveillance cameras, a 33-year-old female became upset when asked to show her receipt before exiting the building. After ignoring the checker's request, supervisors were radioed and quickly met the woman outside. As the supervisor attempted to get the female to show him her receipt, she began yelling, "Back the F up," and reached in the cart to banish her firearm. During the encounter, the female continued to...
All right, so first of all, my first question is, where did she pull that fire? Did she have the gun on the whole time she was in the store? That seems ridiculous, but hey, look, let's start here. We'll bring both of them up so you can see our search and a part of the video. So we'll put WA, that stands for Washington. Law for threats made with a gun. All right, so we see it's in the RCW, I believe that's Revised Code of Washington, 9.41.270, weapons apparently capable of producing bodily harm, unlawful carrying or handling, the penalty and exceptions. In the state of Washington, it's unlawful to carry, exhibit, display, or draw any firearm in any manner that manifests an intent to intimidate another or warrants alarm for the safety of other persons. This offense is classified as a gross misdemeanor. Additionally, aiming a firearm, whether loaded or not, at or towards any human being, or willfully discharging a firearm in a public place where any person might be endangered, is also considered a gross misdemeanor. All right, so let's look here. What exactly is a misdemeanor, or what's the classifications? of crimes in Washington. And I'll even put in here, I want to know felonies and misdemeanors. And we'll put that in a box so it knows that I'm asking this type of question and not some other question. In the state of Washington, all right, crimes are categorized into two primary classifications. Now, if you've been watching our lectures, okay, we talk about this all the time. Most states classify them like this, the crimes, into felonies and misdemeanors. Usually a felony means something that you can go to a state's Department of Correction for more than a year, in most places. I've seen laws in some places where anything more than 2 years, all right? But look, in Washington, they define this the same way we do in my home jurisdiction. Felonies are serious offenses that carry potential sentences of more than 1 year in prison. They are further classified into three categories. All right, so they have three classes of felonies here. You have a Class A felony, Class B, and Class C. Class A felonies are the most serious crimes. All right, they're reserved for these two. All right, murder and rape. They're punishable by up to life in prison and a fine of up to $50,000. All right, so that's nothing to snuff at there. That's a fairly good size fine, and that term of imprisonment, that's a hefty term. All right, but these two crimes, and there's some others too, they're classified as a serious crime. All right, they warrant that type of punishment in most cases. There's always the exceptions. Class B felonies, offenses like burglary or drug distribution, carrying penalties of up to 10 years in prison, a fine of up to $20,000. Class C felonies, they're the including theft of lesser amounts or drug possession, with sentences up to 5 years in prison, a fine of up to $10,000. All right, misdemeanors are less serious offenses divided into two categories. You have simple misdemeanors. These are minor offenses punishable by up to 90 days in jail, a fine of up to $1,000. And then you have gross misdemeanors. More serious misdemeanors, such as assault in the fourth degree, carrying penalties up to 364 days in jail, one day short of a year, a fine of up to $5,000. All right? All right, so we got a understanding on the law and what the classifications of their crimes are. All right, let's jump in. Let's see what they have to say about this one.
Yell as she loaded her car with groceries. Eventually, she gets into her Mercedes and speeds out of the parking lot. Police arrived and urgently located the reporting party to gather information for probable cause.
It was in the car.
What did she do?
She waved it in my face over here, told me to back off, came to her car.
She pointed it at your face?
She pointed it at me.
Like directly at your face?
Yeah, it was still in the holster.
Okay, what did you do after she pointed at you?
I backed off. I called my manager.
Okay.
She came over here and loaded it.
215 PC assault 2. Okay, are you willing to provide a statement and all that?
Yes.
Perfect.
So yeah, and she went over there and we saw him pull her out of the car and take her down over there. So I'm the one.
Okay, so first of all right, this person here, he's the one that was walking beside her cart, and she displayed the firearm. Now, whether she pointed it at him, we'll get into that in a moment. But let's go back to what the law says here, and we see that it can be a different charge if a person. Let's see. We got the carrying, the exhibiting. That means to exhibit is usually along the same lines of displaying, okay? Now, to draw a firearm seems to be a little bit different term than just the carrying or the exhibiting or the displaying. Exhibit means sort of at large. You always have it here showing. To display it means maybe to a person, a very specific person that you're displaying a firearm to. This may fall into this class here. To draw a firearm would mean to take it out of the holster. All right, I think that's a little bit different. All right, let's see. They call this a gross misdemeanor. All right, any one of these makes it a gross misdemeanor. So remember, that's 1 day short of 1 year, up to $5,000 penalty. All right, so let's jump back in. Let's see what they have to say.
Okay, cool. Can I get your ID, man?
Yeah.
You got it? Okay, perfect. I just wanted someone to come over here, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, can you stick around for a second?
Yeah, no problem.
Sir, you guys have like footage of where it happened?
Should, yes.
Okay.
Say this happened right in front of this camera, so
Right in front of here?
pointing down.
Where in the parking lot was it?
Right here is when she approached me, or when she waved into my face.
And then
so.
she loaded her car up right there in the first stall.
Where the key is?
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that's when I went over to talk to her to find out what was going on. And
Okay.
Yeah, she went off on him, and I was just standing. He's got my
Okay,
ID,
perfect.
so I was just standing nearby just to protect him.
Okay.
So.
One officer observed the gray Mercedes driven by the female, who was later identified as Bianca. Once the officer was positioned behind the car with his emergency lights activated, a high-risk traffic stop was initiated.
All right, so before we get into the traffic stop itself, remember, and I'm going to go over these pretty much every time, and it's simply to talk about if I can get this to work with me, all right, how to read these different body cam footage and the information that's displayed each time. All right, so the information displayed here tells us the date that this happened. This happened July 23rd of 23. So this is last year. Happened at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All right, almost 2:30. 2 o'clock, 26 minutes past the hour, 44 seconds. All right. It tells us what type of camera this is and what generation. All right, because now they have Axon body cam 4s. They may even have a 5 out now. I'm not sure. This is the serial number for that camera here. Okay, X60A2676A. All right. As we have different officers, this number changes. All right. Usually, like I said, it changes the last 4, maybe 5 digits. And each officer has their own camera that they keep up with. All right. You heard them say that he's going to initiate a high-risk traffic stop. That means he's going to initiate this stop with a weapon out and orders going to be yelled, and he's going to yell what orders he wants this person to do, which is basically get out, put your hands where I can see them, don't make any sudden movements. All right, we're going to rewind it just a bit, and we'll see. All right, we'll go back to this far, and I'm going to hit play, and we're going to listen to what happens.
Emergency lights activated. A high-risk traffic stop was initiated.
High risk. Get out with your hands up. Get out of the vehicle with your hands up. Get out of the vehicle. You're being detained. You're not free to leave. Get out of the vehicle.
All right. As a lesson, okay, these are law lectures, but also we want to always give some common sense advice if possible, okay? Key thing always to keep in mind is that if you're being given orders by a police officer, it's always best to follow those orders. The number 2, or the second part to that, if you're being given orders by a police officer with a gun out and displayed. When I say out and displayed, you see this weapon out over here in the corner? All right, it's not in the holster, it's being pointed. If a weapon is out and someone tells you to do something, go ahead and comply. No talking back, just do what the person wants. You don't want weapons pointed at you, okay? And that's for pretty much all situations. All right, so that's a big piece of common knowledge that we all need to have and understand. All right, so let's see what happens here.
With your hands up. 528 high risk to the north of
High
U-Haul.
risk? I don't
She
have
is not being
anything.
compliant. Exit the vehicle with your hands up.
I don't have anything.
Exit, turn around,
I
and
don't
walk
have
back
anything.
towards
I'm
me.
not being detained.
Walk back towards me.
I'm not being detained.
Walk
I'm
back
not
towards
walking
me.
back. I'm out here in the street. I'm not walking back.
Who else is in that car?
Nobody's in the
Get
car.
on your knees.
I'm not getting on my
Get
knees.
on your knees.
You can come to me. I'm not
Get on your knees right now.
I'm not getting.
All right, thank you, Professor Ross. That is exactly right. The street is not the place to argue your case. Maybe we can help with this.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
That is the truth. The street is not the place to argue your case. This officer has a weapon out, all right? And this film, I will tell you all now, okay? We're talking about this. No one's injured in this video, okay? Or no one is seriously injured. There's no shooting that happens of anyone, anything like that. But this could have took a very bad turn. She's not listening. He already has lethal force out and available. Everything can go wrong in the drop of a dime, the drop of a needle, whatever term you want to use. Things could go very badly so very quickly. All right, so that's why it's important to comply with lawful orders. And while we're talking about that, let's jump over here and let's take a look at lawful orders in the state of Washington. All right, you see my search term. WA, which stands for Washington, lawful orders by police. All right, in Washington, individuals are generally required to comply with lawful orders issued by police officers. Failure to do so can result in legal consequences. For instance, under RCW, remember that's the Revised Code of Washington, 46.61.022, willfully failing to stop when requested or signaled by a law enforcement officer, is considered a misdemeanor offense. However, the term lawful order is not explicitly defined in the Washington statutes, leading to some ambiguity. All right, that means that it's up in the air what a lawful order is. Courts have interpreted lawful order to mean as one that is reasonably designed to achieve a legitimate goal of law enforcement. For example, in the context of a traffic stop, in order to extinguish a cigarette was deemed not to be a lawful order, as it did not relate to the officer's safety or the enforcement action. Okay, so they gave an example about somebody telling somebody to put the cigarette out. All right, now that is very different than if you watched our video from just yesterday dealing with Tariq Hill and him having his window roll up. Whenever officers ask you to roll down a window, especially if it has tint on it, everybody, if your windows have dark tint and the police cannot see into your car and they ask you to roll down a window, or if you roll up a window on them, all right, you could be in violation of one of these laws. That's if this law is on the books where you are. All right, but a lawful order for their safety in this situation, telling her to put her hands up when the report has been that she brandished a weapon. To brandish means to show. All right, or to do something in a threatening manner, to show with some form of threats. All right, that's what brandish means. If she brandished a weapon at those Costco workers, police are going to take this as that she still has that weapon on her, and until we see her hands up, we don't know if she's going to reach for that weapon. That's why this is a dangerous situation. All right? All right, let's jump back in and let's see what happens here.
Turn around then.
I'm not doing that either.
Turn around.
I'm not doing that. I'm I'm not here to hurt you. You can't feel my energy. I'm not here to hurt you.
So what's gonna happen, because you're not being non-compliant, you're gonna get taken to the ground hard.
Why? I'm not.
Turn around and
I'm
walk
not
back
doing
towards
that.
me.
I'm not doing that. I'm gonna grab my
Keep
phone.
your hands up now.
I'm gonna grab my phone.
Turn around now.
I'm not even being aggressive.
Turn around.
Why are you doing that?
Turn around.
Why are you doing that?
Get on the ground.
Why?
Bianca continued to actively resist, which caused the officer's body camera to get knocked to the ground.
On the ground.
Calm down. I'm just.
Listen,
I'm just.
Okay, so you heard that what happened here is his body cam has been knocked off. They're not really. It's like a clip, you know. It just clips onto the front of their shirt. All right, and the shirt is usually a button down shirt. It might have a special holster, but you know it's not in there. It's not in a slot specially made for a body cam on the uniform. It's just clipped either to the front of his vest, to the front of his shirt, something of that nature. So it's been knocked off, and you see it hits the ground, but it's still recording. But I think it may have fell face down. But we can still hear audio as he's trying to get her under control and in handcuffs. Now remember, we talked about the paradigm, I guess you'd say, or the spectrum of force. Handcuffs and the pushing and the simple manipulation of a person, grabbing an arm, putting arms behind the back to restrict the person are considered soft controls. All right? When he has his weapon out, that's having the actual gun is lethal force. All right? Now, if he uses it, that's considered the officer used lethal force. Now, if he uses handcuffs, he used soft controls. If he uses pepper spray or a taser, that's considered intermediate weapons or intermediate force. All right? So all these things have terms under the law. All right? Because these things come up quite often over time. All right? If you're going to practice in this field, you'll see these things happen. All right? You'll deal with these types of cases and you'll get the lingo. All right? All right, so let's see what happens, and we'll watch until he picks his cam back up, or we'll stop if there's anything of significance that comes back up.
What are you talking to? Listen, look at what you're doing. I'm
Get
just
on the
standing
ground
here.
now. Get on the ground. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands.
All right, key thing is you hear those other police cars approaching. They're approaching fairly fast, so he's going to have backup coming. He's already radioed in them. I'm initiating a high-risk traffic stop. When that happens, that's almost like a calling all units call that where he's going to need some backup here in just a moment. Someone to both for his own safety and for the accountability of the police. All right, you want someone to be present just in case if lethal force has to be used, so they can verify that it was used properly. All right? Because we would hate for anything to go wrong here. All right? Let's see. We'll jump back in.
Behind your back. Put your hands.
I'm saying
Lay on your stomach.
I can't.
Do a favor for me.
I can't.
All right, notice that we changed body cams here. Now we're at 24,205. Let me rewind it back so you can see what the other number was. All right. 2676A was the camera that got dropped to the ground. All right. The new officer on the scene, his camera came and he has it activated. All right.
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands.
I'm saying
Lay on your stomach.
I can't.
Do a favor for me.
I
Can you back
can't.
up a little bit. Lay on your stomach.
Can't. I'm not even resisting you.
We're wrestling with one.
Get on your stomach.
My wrist!
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting. You're hurting my body. You're hurting my body.
Hey.
Why did you have to do all that when I was just standing there talking to you? That's wild.
Handcuff, she's slipping it.
I'm not slipping anything.
Stop fighting it. Stop trying to get your hand out of it.
Why would I do that?
Stop.
Just
Hey.
take a deep breath.
Y'all
Step
some
in it.
head ass motherfuckers, yo.
Everything's being
I don't
audio
give a.
video.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I don't have anything on me. I don't have
She's
anything
still her
on me.
hands right there.
I'm hurting. I'm hurting. And that hurts.
Stop
Well,
trying
then
to get
stop
your hand
pulling your
out of
hand out of your
handcuff.
I was relaxed when you first got here.
Hey.
I'm gonna be like this now because I've been tackled to the ground. I have a spinal cord injury, and I just rolled my ankle. I'm in pain.
So then relax your body for me then.
Can you stand me up then? This is ridiculous. And it's always right. It's y'all's fault. I'm racist, yo.
She got tiny.
This is unnecessary. This is unnecessary.
I got the fire department coming to check you out, okay?
I don't need nobody to come check me out.
You just
Okay,
said you
you
were hurt.
can
I
complain
don't need
to.
nobody to come check me out. I don't
Stop
trust
trying
you,
to twist.
and I don't trust anybody that hurts.
I know, well, you keep trying to take your hand out the
Yeah,
handcuffs.
I
I'm
need.
trying to turn my wrist. It's so hurting.
Listen. If you take your hands out of handcuffs, you will get tased. Do you understand me?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand
If
what
you
I'm
take
saying?
your wrists out of your handcuffs,
you
you will get tased.
I can't take my hands
I'm
out.
just-
You were trying. I just tightened.
I was not. I was turning my wrist.
I'm just letting you know.
You were turning it in the opposite
get her
direction.
into
Because
a
that's
car.
how it's supposed to be. Have you guys,
All right.
No, I don't.
I just frisked.
Please give me a second. Please give me a second. Please give me a second, because y'all hurt my back, yo.
That's what I'm saying.
No. I'm good. Oh my God, my back. Oh my God.
Would you rather lay on your side?
No.
Or rather go into a car?
I want to get in my car and
Well,
go
that's not going to
home.
happen.
No. What am I being detained for?
You're under arrest for obstruction
Obstruction of what?
of justice.
What do you mean? Were you here?
I was.
Were you here when he got here and I was just talking to him?
Did I not tell you to stop resisting?
When was I resisting?
The entire time.
No, I wasn't.
You're under
No.
arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
Oh.
You cannot afford to hire a lawyer. You won't be able to situation
my
you side
ankle.
any or make any statements, okay? Did you hear me? Are you refusing to acknowledge that all of a sudden you can't hear me now? Want me to read them to you again?
Oh man.
One more time. You do have the right to remain silent.
Can I stand up
Anything you
now,
say,
please?
Nope. The right
Why are
is
you
not to talk
pressing
to another
down?
lawyer.
Because I
I'm
said
reading
no.
your rights to you again.
That doesn't mean put your
can you
hands
listen
on
to
me.
your
I don't have to listen to anybody. Don't
okay,
follow
fine,
me to
that's
do
fine.
Acknowledge that
this.
you heard him.
Can I come in there to look at the video?
Okay, so you notice there that they read her Miranda rights at this point, letting her know that she's under arrest. Anything she says potentially can be used against her when this matter goes to court. All right, we always hear about Miranda and what it stands for. All right, it's really a sort of due process type of thing. Okay, you want a person's rights to be read to them so that they know what's going on and potentially that they could be or anything they say could help the state in prosecuting a case against them. All right, so it's an important factor in American law. Okay, when you find yourself in a situation where you're being arrested, all right, the street is never the place to argue your case. Remain silent. Get back to the station safely. Have your fingerprints taken. Have your identity ran. And when you're free of all the conflict, contact an attorney. Let them deal with it. That is their profession. Okay? Arguing your point with the police, who are not attorneys, who've only been trained to protect and serve. All right? This is not the place where you're going to win any argument. All right? All right, let's see what happens when they go back and speak with the employees of the Costco.
Footage with you?
Yeah, I can stay with them.
Okay. I'm going to go in there and check the video footage with them if you want to take a statement.
Yeah, just him, yeah?
Yeah. She pointed the gun at you, correct?
Just me, yeah. He saw it in her basket, but she only pointed it at me.
Okay.
Now we're standing up.
Which car?
Just put her in this one for now.
No, I didn't refuse anything.
You did.
Well, yeah, you did.
I don't have to do anything that
Here,
you
let's-
ask
actually,
or
no,
say
let's
anything
search
at
her.
all.
But we need to search her.
Go ahead.
Okay, can you face this flag?
What do you want me to do?
Face this flag.
Face the flag. Widen your stance first.
Here you go.
You don't
Do you have
to
anything
kick
in
me.
your bra?
I'm not.
Do you have
You're
anything in
being
your bra?
aggressive for
Do you have
no
anything
reason.
in your bra?
Don't touch my stones. You touch
You're
my
being searched.
stones.
I'm removing your stones. I'm not touching them.
You don't have to remove them to search
Yes,
them.
we
I
do.
do. I had to remove
You're
them.
under arrest.
You're gonna be booked into jail, and they won't let you have them when you go to jail.
That's crazy.
Everything will go with you, though.
That's crazy. I have dogs at the house. I have dogs. I have animals. I have food in my car.
All right, notice how every thing that she can think of to say is not stopping the police from doing exactly what they were doing, placing her under arrest, putting her in the back of a car, and taking her to the station. All right? This is in Federal Way, Washington. You see here on the badge. And also, he says that either at the beginning of this or at the end. Man, I see this police department hasn't been around very long, just since 1996. Fairly new town. All right, let's jump back in and see what they have to say.
For no fucking reason.
They called for a manager to the display car area out in the parking lot. I heard some screaming and shouting, and I walked over to the member loading her groceries in her car. At that point, she told me to get the F back.
For no reason. For no reason.
That I didn't bow down to her when I was approaching her, and that she knows the truth.
All right, notice once again we have a new body cam number, 29187. All right, he's actually interviewing the employees and trying to figure out what's happening. All these officers' work will come together in order to begin to build the case against the woman.
I told her that I was there to help her, and she still told me to get the F back, and that was when she pulled out a gun and set it on top of the car, and at that point I called the police.
We're gonna bring you over to this flat.
All right, so we hear about this gun twice. Now, we don't have his interaction on film. He's the manager that was called out, and he said that she pulled the gun out and placed it on top of her car. This is when she's trying to get in her car and leave, as my best guess. Now, we saw at the beginning point of that video where she showed that gun to the gentleman who was wearing the red vest, the first person she interacted with after she left the store.
And then we're gonna search you, and then we're gonna go in the car, okay?
And you're hurting my wrist, and then you pulled on it again.
I know, so here's the
Why
thing.
are you doing this?
Because you're under arrest.
But that doesn't mean you have to
Hey, stop
physically
that.
be aggressive.
Keep doing this, though.
What am I
go
doing?
with
I just asked him to let go of my wrist.
And he's not going to.
But you're hurting me.
So here's the
everything
thing.
in
You
your
tried
bra.
to pull your hands out of your handcuffs. We can't let you
No,
do
I
that.
didn't. Why are you lying? You can't listen. You
Everything's
can't tell
on
me-
video.
You can't tell me what I was trying and not trying to do.
So did she shoplift or
So
no?
there's great.
No, she bought her stuff, but she was upset because she didn't want to show her receipt, which everybody at Costco,
Yeah.
from what I gather.
Okay, so you hear that this all started because she didn't want to show her receipt as she was coming out of Costco. All right, now I've shopped at Costco and Sam's. They're basically the equivalent, but they're two different companies. Same thing. It's sort of like a wholesale buy in bulk location. You have to be a member to shop there, and you have to show your receipt when you're leaving because as you see, people buy carts full of stuff, all right? And they have to kind of verify that no one's just stealing and walking out. This officer asked, first of all, was she shoplifting? To shoplift means to basically steal out the store, to steal stuff and try to leave. All right, they're watching the cameras here, so let's watch what happens.
Yeah.
You can't tell me what I was trying and not trying to do. And then you're stepping on my toes.
All right.
Oh, I love you. I love you.
Okay, get in.
I love you. God don't like ugly. God don't like ugly.
Swing your feet in.
God don't like ugly.
Okay. Well,
God don't like ugly. Yahweh don't like ugly.
Is she holding it? No.
Right.
Oh, she's holding it.
Whoa. Where'd she save that?
Yeah, no mistake.
Where did she get it?
It's in a holster. It looks like it's in a holster.
It's in, but still, it doesn't matter.
Because she didn't even see. Man, she did like a David Copperfield.
why in the world?
let's look at that again. Where'd that gun come from? I mean, she pulled it out of nowhere. And that's why they were so surprised and laughing. I was like, whoa, where'd she pull that gun from? Let's take a look at that little short footage one more time.
Looks like it's in the holster.
But still, it
When did
doesn't
come
matter.
out? Because she didn't even see. Yeah, she did like a David Copperfield.
Why in the world did she do?
All right, so just so everyone knows, if something like this were to go to a jury trial, meaning that the state is then presenting to a jury of 12 people, this video would be shown to them in a unredacted form, so it'd be long. Now, both sides could stipulate to a shortened version, just getting right to the point of the key points that they want to show. But that's a portion of the video that you want to make sure the jury sees, and you would play it over and over again. And you want the whole video to go back with the jury into the deliberation room, or you would want to make sure the jury is informed that they can come back out and watch the video again if they want in order to make a determination. All right, so let's hear what these officers have to say. She's in custody now, and they're going to begin to inventory some of the stuff she was arrested with. They have the gun there and things like that. So let's watch and see what happens.
What she did?
She's an idiot.
Man.
She should not. She just messed up her life.
I know. We have to watch.
Just show the receipt.
I know.
You paid for it. Just show the receipt. It's literally Costco policy. When I go to Costco, I don't care.
Everybody,
There you go.
yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No. It's one of those things that you kind of know you have to do over there.
Yeah.
So
It's known.
Yeah.
Like, everyone leaving literally show the receipt.
Yeah.
And half the time they don't even really. They're just like cool.
As long as they don't got like big ass items like 4 TVs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the only thing they're really looking out for is like expensive ass items.
A detective reviewed the case and noticed inconsistencies in the victim's statement. His report stated the CCTV camera that captured the interaction between Bianca and the victim did not capture a dramatic and felonious assault with a firearm. From the video, it appears that Bianca produces the teal handgun that remains within a black holster as she holds it in her right hand. The handgun does not appear to be blatantly pointed at the victim and was likely withdrawn in an attempt to alarm or intimidate him so he would stop following her. However,
All right, so we see this is the detective report. All right, and it seems they got all the information when they put this video together. But you see that the detective had to go back over this information and the CCTV camera footage. We heard the guy at the beginning say that she did point the gun at him, but it remained in the holster. After reviewing the footage, they said, well, it wasn't actually a felonious assault with a firearm. Assault means to scare someone. All right. Now, assault can also mean when there's actually a unwanted touching also. But most of the time, an assault simply means that you intimidate someone and give them an immediate fear that harm is going to happen to them. All right. Actually, let's look up that. We'll look up assault. Let's see how Washington classifies this statute, okay? All right. In Washington state, assault with a firearm is prosecuted under the state's assault laws with the severity of the charge depending on the circumstances. First degree assault. A person is guilty of assault in the first degree if, with the intent to inflict great bodily harm, they assault another with a firearm or a deadly weapon, or by any force or means likely to produce great bodily harm or death. This is classified as a Class A felony. Second degree, this occurs if a person assaults another with a deadly weapon, including a firearm, under circumstances that do not amount to a first-degree assault. It's a Class B felony. Third degree. All right, this involves assaulting another person with a weapon or other instrument likely to produce bodily harm, or with force likely to produce bodily harm or death, under circumstances that do not amount to first or second degree assault. All right. Let's see. What is the statute for assault with a... Yeah. All right, so I do this so we can actually get the actual the numbers for the different ones. All right, so first degree is found at RCW 9A.36.011. Second degree assault is found at 36.021. And third degree is found at 36.031. All right, so you see they changed the digit here, one digit up for each one. In the I guess this would be, I'm not sure how they actually connotate these, but that would be the hundredths place. All right. Okay. We also have this other charge. This is 9.41.230 that addresses the unlawful aiming or discharging of firearms. That's a gross misdemeanor, to aim a firearm, whether loaded or not, at or towards any human being, or to willfully discharge a firearm in a public place. All right. So let's see what they're actually going to charge her with. So we'll jump back over here.
According to Washington state law, it shall be unlawful for any person to carry, exhibit, display, or draw any firearm, dagger, sword, knife, or other cutting or stabbing instrument, club, or any other weapon apparently capable of producing bodily harm, in a manner, under circumstances, and at a time and place that either manifests an intent to intimidate another or that warrants alarm for the safety of other persons. In the end, Bianca was only...
All right, big shout outs to Patrol Blue Unit. This is whose video this is. They did an excellent job here of creating a mock file for this case. All right, we see that what she was charged with is 9A.46.20. Let's look up what that charge is. So we see this can be a gross misdemeanor or a Class C felony. Let's take a look and see what we have here. This is a statute that defines the crime of harassment. All right, a person is guilty of harassment without lawful authority when they knowingly threaten to cause bodily harm immediately or in the future to a person threatened or any other person, to cause physical damage to the property of another, to subject the person threatened or any other person to physical confinement or restraint, or to maliciously do any other act intended to substantially harm the person threatened or another person or another with respect to their physical health or safety. Additionally, the person's words or conduct must place the person threatened in a reasonable fear that the threat will be carried out. All right, reasonable fear. Remember, the manager said that she said, "Back the F up." And she said it multiple times, and then she showed the firearm. That could cause someone to believe that, hey, she might follow through with her her warning to back up, or she'll do something something ludicrous, I guess you'd say. Gross misdemeanor. Generally, harassment is classified as a gross misdemeanor. Remember, that's 1 day short of 1 year in jail, up to $5,000 as a fine. Or a Class C misdemeanor. That's up to 5 years in prison, up to $10,000. All right. The offense escalates to a Class C felony if the person has previously been convicted of any crime of harassment against the same victim or members of the victim's family or household, or any person specifically named in a no contact or no harassment order. Number 2, if the person harasses another by threatening to kill the person threatened or any other person. So if there's a threat to kill somebody, the harassment is upgraded to a Class C felony. The person harasses a criminal justice participant or elected official performing their official duties. All right, to harass a police officer or elected official is a Class C felony. The person harasses a criminal justice participant or elected official because of an action taken or decision made during the performance of the duties. All right, great. Let's jump back in. Let's see the end of this video.
Charged with felony count of assault with a firearm, but should be downgraded to a misdemeanor based on the detective synopsis. It should also be noted a criminal history check was conducted and no criminal record was found. Bianca possessed a concealed pistol license and was an employee for King County.
All right, so you heard that she's actually an employee for the county. All right, so I kind of wonder, was she able to keep her job after having this kind of incident happen? All right. Also, you see that they looked into her criminal history. Remember, as we talked about right here, they have, they talk about a person's history here. Previously been convicted. That's why we're looking at the criminal history to see if there's any other crimes of harassment in her past. She had a record that was clean, so it went 1 down from the felony to a gross misdemeanor. All right, she probably had to pay a fine. She probably didn't have to do any jail time, but they might have put her on some kind of supervised probation. All right, and that can always be that can be a downer to be on probation, because you're then forced to come and report on your dealings, and it's usually not going to be when you want to report, but when they want you to report. You also have to pay a fee for being on probation. Let's look in Washington. What's the fee for being on probation? All right, in the state of Washington, individuals placed on probation may be required to pay a supervision fee. According to local court rules, such as those of the Jefferson County District Court, defendants on probation can be assessed a fee of up to $1,500 unless a different amount is specified by the court in the judgment and sentence, or by a separate order. If placed on bench probation, the fee may be up to $300. All right, it says these fees are intended to help offset the costs associated with probation supervision. Okay. All right, so once again, we have watched a video here, and we've gone over what the law is for this situation. This also serves as a point for your wisdom and experience. Don't go to the Walmart. Don't go to the local Costco, the local Sam's, the local grocery store, and threaten the employees in any way or fashion. And especially don't pull out a weapon and show it to anyone. All right? I'm pretty sure that in all 50 states, this type of action has been codified. This has become a law in some form or fashion everywhere. If you display a firearm at someone or while you're talking in an aggressive manner towards someone, this is probably going to be a crime, okay? If you or someone you know is experiencing the repercussions of a arrest due to something that happens like this, I encourage you to seek out the advice of an attorney in your local area, one who's licensed to practice in your state, and see if you can have some help. See if you can gain some recourse. All right, once again, this is Advocacy Alchemy with Professor Ross. I am Professor Ross, and we'll go out on a song.
Not that I'm aware of. This is the first I've ever had it happen, and I've been a judge for 12 years. At least it's the first time it's been reported to me, and my staff's pretty good.
Judge, in this case, in this particular case, Judge, not in this county.
The street is not the place to argue a case.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!